Just to put a bookend on what I was saying about the Mumbai massacre, 3 days of terror in India, the Pakistani president is publicly begging India not to start a new war with them. He's saying that it was staged. He's saying they had nothing to do with it. Again, qui bono, who benefits? Why would they do that? No, the West wants to go into Pakistan. Obama has said he's going to go into Pakistan. They don't like the government that's in Pakistan right now, so they fund militants that they created in the 70s and in the 80s to then go in and attack. And that's just what all the evidence here shows. Remember, the Army training manual, there's several others, says staged terror attacks. And it's very, very dangerous and very, very serious. But it is radical Islam that allows these intelligence agencies to find these mindless dupes to carry these type of activities out. And are there real Muslim terrorists? Absolutely. Are there real Hindu terrorists that go and kill Muslims routinely in India? Absolutely. Are there Christian radicals? Absolutely. The point is the big spectaculars are always government provocateured or staged. Whereas 9/11 is 100% staged, most of the other attacks are provocateured, like in 91, 93. New York Times reported the FBI cooked the bomb, trained the drivers, gave them the detonators, then ordered their informants to stand down and let the bombing take place. Oh, yeah, they found radical Muslims that would do it, and they built the bomb for them because the idiots didn't know how. All right, I'm going to shut up about that. Let's go ahead and go to your calls. Mike in Houston, thanks for holding today. Good to have you on the air with us.
Merry Christmas to you, Alex. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you.
I wanted to point out, if you got a chance, there was a huge article in the Houston Chronicle today. The headline is, "Guns sold here, kill in Mexico." They're blaming the Houston gun shop owners for selling the weapons to the Mexican drug cartels.
Yeah, any way to, I've seen similar stories, any way to demonize the Second Amendment and disarm us. No, you have a drug war going on with the U.S. funding tens of billions a year down there to send their drug cartels after the other drug cartels. So there is a war on drugs, but it's a fight between banks in the U.S. and England and Europe against the cartels that are down there that aren't paying their cut. And yes, I know they're now demonizing the Second Amendment, using the incredible crime wave, the 2,000 dead on the Texas border, 11 months so far, over 2,000 dead on the Texas-Mexico border. What about the other Houston Chronicle articles about tens of thousands of violent felon illegal aliens released out of Houston jails alone because the feds won't come pick them up? I mean rapists. I mean murderers. No, they turn crime loose on us. They allow lawlessness to take place. Then they hire more cops and won't let them fight crime. They got them out there writing old ladies' tickets.
Exactly. And you know what? Everybody should write a letter to the editor telling the Chronicle, how dare you criticize these gun shop owners? I mean, what's to stop somebody from selling somebody a car that wants to go and kill somebody?
I saw a month ago the Justice Department saying we've got to close the gun show loophole, which means you can't privately sell a gun to somebody at your house at a gun show. You can't sell it to your neighbor. You can't buy a gun from your grandpa or your cousin. They want to shut down all gun sales that aren't registered.
Exactly.
And that's what NICS is. It is registered.
And I tell you what, man, it's just so frustrating. And the article pointed out, these purchases were fraudulent. It's right there. It's fraudulent purchases. I mean, they think we're a bunch of buffoons.
It's total baloney. The Mexican drug cartels, narcotics is a $400 billion a year trade just in the United States a year. Okay, they're not buying their guns at the gun shows in Houston. Are low-level drug dealers doing it? Absolutely. More reason why I need my Second Amendment to protect myself. I appreciate your call. By the way, crime has been exploding for 2 years. Crime peaked in 1991. The highest it ever been. Then it went down about 20%, depending on which state you're in, but on average, just pull up unified crime statistics, violent crime statistics. Now it's shooting back up. And that's because a bad economy always causes more crime. I mean, here in Austin, I'm reading about carjackings, home invasions everywhere, but they won't say it's because crime's gone up. Well, let me tell the listeners this all over the country. Crime has exploded. Lock your cars, lock your houses, get a firearm, learn how to use it. and kill people that come in your house. That's why I love living in Texas. I don't live in New York. I don't live in Chicago, where they've totally disarmed the people, so they have the highest crime rates and all the criminals move there. I love living in a state like Florida or Texas or Arizona or Vermont, where you don't have hardly any home invasions compared to those, because they know they'll get killed. You come in my house, I'm going to kill you, you bastard murdering criminals. Stay away from me. Every day I look at my children and my wife, and I don't like punks and criminals on the streets. And listen, Google this. Google this for me in there, guys. I can't type while I talk. They had a story 2 weeks ago in the Houston Chronicle about tens of thousands of violent felons being released. Google, 400,000 criminals released from Houston jails. That's the real number. And you're like, how is that possible? Well, Houston Metro is 8 million people. Half of them are illegal aliens. It's not that Mexicans are criminals from Mexico. It's that the criminals come up here because this is the happy hunting ground. Remember the guy that went around murdering dozens of people on the railways? He kept getting caught, but they would always release him. Pull that story up. 400,000. Houston Chronicle. I want something done about it right now. Don't you be out there writing tickets on the highway all day. You get out there and you stop the crime wave invasion from Mexico and keep your hands off my guns. Joshua in Florida, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Good.
I wanted to comment on the person getting trampled there at Walmart. I watched the article, the story there on MSNBC, and they used that pretty quickly to spin it to say, well, you know, this could be avoided if we had more people for crowd control or more law enforcement. What do you think about that?
No, we need the public to not turn into savages, as the AP said. And we, again, you cannot, with a million cops, with a billion cops, you can't control a society degenerating. All you get is the degenerated public becoming cops. This is how tyranny works. They break down society by design, the social engineers. Then they terrify the normal people, the middle class people, into accepting tyranny in the name of being safe. It's just unbelievable. They need to talk about the fact that the public is turning into animals.
Absolutely. I also wanted to say I was researching a while back. Have you heard anything about SafeLink Wireless? I saw that, and what that is the government is going to be giving cell phones to low-income families, to anyone who doesn't have a cell phone. Is that just to make sure that everyone is on the grid? Or
yes, the Telecommunications Act of 96, it's all satellite triangulated through the cell towers, GPS. They listen to you in live time, not just track you. Thank you for the call. Let's go ahead. I got mad earlier thinking about these criminals. George in Texas. George, you're on the air.
How you doing, Alex?
Good.
You know, when I lived in Florida, you know, thank God I had a 9mm, because I tell you, people were trying to take the copper tubing out of my air conditioner, and I was there. I was glad I had a gun.
They need to die, and then that'll teach these scum, because what happens is they invade people's houses, and then nothing's done, and they end up killing and raping. I'm tired of innocents being hurt. I love it when home invaders get their butts shut. I love it when a piece of lead gets parked in their heart.
Well, anyway, I remember back when they were starting to ban AK-47s. They never banned
AK-47s. You buy a $250 stamp. The Mac 90 semi-automatic variants of those is what they tried to restrict.
Well, anyway, this family put a gun-free home sign in their front yard, and guess what? They got invaded.
Absolutely. Listen, you pull up the Chicago crime statistics. They've had 20 people killed in one day there this year because they know the public is disarmed. And, of course, then the police are corrupt. The son of the mob boss runs the city. Of course, anywhere they take your guns, you have tyranny. Appreciate your call. I'm going to jam in one more. Jaja in New York. You're on the air worldwide.
What's up, Alex? How you doing today?
Good.
Those stampedes, first of all, it's totally third world. I used to live in Brazil, and that is totally typical of a third world mentality. So we are degenerating. Now, I gotta.
No, we are becoming a third world nation.
We're totally becoming.
And everything that comes with it.
It's slowly brainwashing people, and they think it's okay, and people are going to get used to it, and then you're going to see it, and then they're not even going to talk about it on the news, okay? But let me tell you something. An ex-boyfriend of mine got in touch with me. He's a FEMA project officer. I hit him with a whole bunch of information, and I said, you work for the devil. And he hit me back, and he used to be a punk rocker. He got me on the phone. He told me he's seen a lot of stuff, and I got all the information today. He said that basically he's an engineer, he's an electrician. He's a head of company there. They're totally compartmentalized over there, and they're totally kept where they don't know certain things. They have shopping centers all over the United States that they're keeping off limits. They have armed guards, and he has cards and everything, and even if they see them every day.
No, that's been in the news. They're moving in bunks and generators into power plants. Stay there. I want to hear more about it after the news. Will you hold through the news with us?
Of course.
All right, put her on hold, Jaja. And we'll get to Ian, David, Ralph, Mike, and many, many others when the second hour continues. And folks, they've trained you to not get mad. They've trained you to not get upset. They've trained you to not stand up. You're only allowed to get mad about the BCS rankings. You're only allowed to care about football and baseball instead of really getting angry about enslavement and tyranny. You're meant to get angry about that. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Ted.